Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. We are inching closer to Week 1 Cowboys Browns, and today I've got 4 critical, crucial, important matchups. The Cowboys win, they'll walk away with a victory. 100%. Not a victory. Victory! Shouts out to Johnny Drama. Plus, in the roundup, we got the first injury report. Good news for the Cowboys. Not so good news for the Browns. But that ain't my problem. We just talk about the boys. So make sure y'all stick around for that. And let me just say this. Let me get this out the way, and then I'll address what happened prior to the show. Will, did you watch Stephen A? Did you watch Jerry Jones? Here's the irony.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I don't care. I'm not watching that. I don't care. So if you want to call in and talk about it, feel free. That's what the phone lines are for. 351-999-3787. But I refuse because it does nothing. It means nothing. So appreciate you, Bomb Squad, for joining me and dealing with that issue I had prior to the show.
Bomb Squad!
See, that's the thing. I tell y'all this all the time. You do 17 different things. You think you got everything ready to go, and you forget to click one button. Just one button. Forgot to click the other stream, and that's why all that messed up. But y'all are here. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me, man. At some point, the producer's going to need a producer. You feel me? At some damn point, man. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, but my goodness, I literally do like 17 different things and make sure that this show is one of, if not the best morning shows you're going to see out here in Cowboys land. So I love it. I do. But I hate messing up for you guys. So it weighs heavy on your boy. All right, let's go ahead and hit this roundup, and we're going to jump straight into the 4 keys because, look, I thought about this, and then I said, stop, Will. Stop overthinking this. These 4 keys may feel like low-hanging fruits, but they will determine victory on Sunday, 100%. Let's get into this roundup, though.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time. It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, Bomb Squad. On Tuesday, we had a little bit of an injury update, but the official injury report dropped yesterday, and it will drop every single Wednesday, the first one of the week. And it's a good one for the Cowboys, man. This is about as healthy as they're probably going to be heading into, any game. Damone Clark, Marshawn Nealon, Israel McQuamu. Mozzie's interesting, though. Let me put a pin in that. And Wanye Thomas, all 4 participants. 4 of those, 4 of those 5 guys I was aware of. Mozzie I was not aware of. Huh. Mozzie had an Achilles situation. Not good, Bob. Now, he was full, but an Achilles. Usually sore Achilles don't just heal like that. But we'll see. I'm no doctor. We'll have a doctor on here shortly. But that's interesting. It kind of caught me by surprise there. But the bad news for the Cowboys, John Stevens Jr. is out with a hamstring injury. And, the first depth chart report, unofficial, depth chart dropped the other day, and I do wonder with him being number 4 if that's the reason why. Looks like, didn't practice Wednesday. We'll see what happens today. Hamstrings can linger. That could be the reason why you saw Brevin Spann 4 as tight end number 3. And going into this game, you might need that extra big body. You know? You might need that extra big body. Yes, it was soccer time. For the Cleveland Browns, they had a lot of starters. Their list was full, a very lengthy list. 8 players were limited, and a lot of those guys were starters. And one of those guys will pop up on our key matchups. And I'm telling you right now, if he's limited, like during the game, if he's still dealing with something, I watched a good bit of him in about a game and a half, and boy, not a great game to start off the season with if you're going to have knee issues. So we'll talk about that in our key matchups. That's probably our third one we'll get to, unless we get taken away and we dive somewhere else. But that is this week's first injury report. Ladies and gentlemen, each week we will definitely have an injury spotlight, and the injury spotlight will always be brought to you by our guys over at OSMI. OSMI provides arthroscopic and robotic assisted orthopedic surgery, foot and ankle surgery, sports medicine, physical therapy, and a ton more. Their team of specialists has offices in Fort Worth, Decatur, Mansfield, and they provide state-of-the-art orthopedic care to the North Texas area. So hit them up for your hassle-free appointment at osmifw.com. And we will have Dr. Booth be joining us again this year to give us the injury updates from a doctor's point of view, a sports doctor's point of view. And I always think that's such a great nugget to have because, look, I'm no doc. I just go off of what they tell us. But the doctor also gives us kind of a legitimate, length, more details on what that means. Hey, this guy can't cut this way, that way. It's a really good segment if you are new to the channel. With that said, anybody aware that? I'm not trying to make a big deal of it because he was full, but Mozzie Smith Achilles. Mark's my bad radio. Mark said Mozzie is an Achilles heel. Damn. Y'all ruthless in this chat, boy. Y'all are ruthless. Is Dalvin Cook going to be on the active roster Sunday or practice squad? So the cool thing about the practice squad, Mark, or is that Michael? Michael, I'm sorry, is that you can call up guys 3 different times. I think it's what is y'all? 2 guys. You can call them up 3 different times without putting them on a 53. I find it hard to believe that'll happen for Dalvin Cook this game. But when you think about it, I said it yesterday, if there was a game to lean on the ground, if there was a game to use all your backs, this would be the one. This would be the one. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll look at we probably won't see Dalvin Cook unless there's an injury or guys are just not playing well. And they decide, for instance, the Deuce Vaughn. Remember, Deuce Vaughn was playing earlier in the season. He played the first 3 or 4 games or whatever. And then they were like, man, this just isn't working out. Don't think it was Deuce's fault. You kept throwing him in there to the Wolves and blowouts. But they said this isn't working out. So they decided to sit Deuce for the rest of the year. He was on the roster, but he was inactive. So he never really got called back up. So that was from play, right? Or however they decided to go about it. I feel like something like that would have to happen again. Somebody would either have to get hurt. They would have to say, look, we're not comfortable with how whomever in that room is playing. Let's call Dalvin Cook up. Or maybe they see Dalvin Cook in practice and be like, dude, he's better than XYZ. We're playing him. Yeah, T-Jack. Shouts out to my guy Lee too. Did y'all see the new catchphrase, the new saying slogan this year? It's rooted. And McCarthy had a lengthy explanation for it. At first I was like, man, that's totally different from Carpe Omnia, which was kind of cool, but I don't know, something about just rooted. just it's more rugged. It's a little bit more rugged. But he compared it to, 5-year increment. Here go McCarthy talking about these damn increments again. But in all seriousness, he talked about how, his pops told him to live life through 5-year increments, and, the fifth year special to him because of what happened in Green Bay, and, everything that we rooted here from day one, it's time for it to all come together in year 5, et cetera, et cetera. So they have their own thing behind it. I don't know. Carpe Omnia was pretty cool. Rooted feels rugged, and maybe we need some rugged. Maybe we need it. Professor O said they whack. Yeah, I mean, according to Cooks, Dalvin Cooks, Brandon Cook said all the teams he played for had these kind of sayings and slogans, but the Cowboys tend to wear these sayings and slogans. And I wonder if they just carried that over from the Garrett era. Remember, finish the fight and all this and all that. Like, that's really started where we saw the slogans kind of come to life in front of our eyes. And then all of a sudden McCarthy gets here, and in the last few years, it becomes a thing. Unfortunately, McCarthy,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
With all due respect, man, Cowboys Nation don't give a damn about your slogans. All right, one last thing, conspiracy guy. Do they sell these shirts, or they just wear them? I'm not even gonna go there, but I do know they saw that there was a lot of like hoodies and shirts and whatnot that they wore around the facility and in practices and things like that. If they sell them, then maybe this goes above the coaches, but that's a whole different discussion. Let's not go that way. We talk football today. We got Cowboys, we got Browns, we got key matchups. Professor O, 2025 slogan: try harder. Oh man. Y'all killing me. You're killing me. Okay, so what I usually like to do with these matchups, and I do them different ways. Like sometimes it's just player-to-player matchups. Sometimes I come on here, we'll do X factors. Sometimes I'll do keys to victory, not necessarily matchups, but things that have to happen. This week specifically, I wanted to focus on individual matchups. Now, individual matchups don't necessarily win you or lose you games, but collectively they can. And I believe these 4 matchups, if the Cowboys win at least 3 of the 4, but if they win them all, they win this game decisively. I think they win it fairly easily. Now, I'm not saying blowouts or anything like that, but this is why I said before, though, these two teams kind of evenly match up with each other when you go look at where they have the quote-unquote advantage. I think the Cowboys have the advantage defensively. I think the Browns have the advantage defensively, but I think our offense is better than their offense, so that's where I think the Cowboys can walk away with this dub, but it'll be a hard-fought victory unless they dominate these matchups. The very first one, I don't expect them to dominate. And again, I talked about low-hanging fruit. And look, the more and more I thought about it, I was like, hey, yeah, I could get sneaky and talk about, the third corner against the third receiver. But I was like, no. Myles Garrett versus Tyler Guyton is a key matchup, man. I can't ignore that, even if it's a low-hanging fruit. Welcome to the NFL, Rook. And it's very likely that they move Myles Garrett around for sure. But Jim Schwartz is a veteran. Our defensive line is a veteran D-line. He's likely looking at the rookie left tackle in his first game and said, well, why would I take the defensive player of the year, one of the most feared defensive players in the league, and take him off of a rookie who, look, he raw. At the end of the day, he's still a rawish rookie, only 13 starts in college, and now he's getting thrown into the wolves. So I feel like we're going to see this matchup a whole lot. And we broke down the defense a little bit yesterday. We kind of briefly talked about Myles Garrett because, again, he's easy to talk about. But he's just flat out going to be a problem. It is what it is, man. Myles Garrett's going to be a problem, and you got to be ready to deal with that problem, right? He has a full bag. He can beat you with his bag, or he can beat you with just sheer power. He can dip that shoulder, get underneath your pads, drive you back. He's got counters. He can spin. He's really good at, long arming the tackle and then cutting on the dime inside to, be right on top of the quarterback. I mean, there's nothing he really can't do at the position. So you'll see this a lot, right? Chipping him. You'll see teams chip Myles Garrett. But with the chip, I've seen this happen in Dallas, man. You got to be on the same page. I've seen running backs or tight ends actually chip the defensive end, and it helps. It aids the pass rush. So these guys have to be on the same page when they're chipping, when they're helping. And for Tyler Guyton, one of the things that you don't want to see him do in this game against Myles Garrett is get sloppy with his hands. Look, it's going to happen, right? Like, he's going to get beat. It is what it is. But he's got to learn real fast if he does get beat because of his hands. Like, he's going to lean on his athleticism, and he probably should in his first game because he's still young. But don't let it lead you too far away from your technique, because Myles will pick up on that. He'll realize, oh, you just want to get to the spot real fast. And we saw that in camp, right? Oh, you think you can recover well because you're athletic? Bet. And he'll just use that to his advantage if you are sloppy with your technique, if you're sloppy with your hands. And I'd imagine by, say, week 6, 7, 8, he'll probably be more adept in using his hands, talking about Tyler Guyton. He'll be more confident and he'll be more consistent, right? Week 1, though. Week 1 is going to be, it is what it is. It's going to be tough. This is, put it this way. You aren't going to get a better guy. Maybe TJ Watt. That's about it. So if he can go out there, survive, and yes, that might sound, damn, he just got to survive. Yeah. He just got to survive, Garrett. What does surviving look like? Don't let Myles Garrett take over this game. Make him work. If he's going to get a sack, make it because, it takes 4 seconds to get there. The coverage is so good. Dak's trying to find something, he's running around, then sack. The last thing you want to do is let Myles Garrett get there cleanly and blindly, meaning Dak doesn't see it. You know why? Because he'll force a fumble, right? He'll knock that ball right out of there. And he had 4 forced fumbles last year. And I always bring up the game, Indianapolis game, where he just pretty much dominated that thing. He had multiple forced fumbles. I felt like he had a touchdown or something crazy. A block kick, I think, in that game. Don't let him do that. You survive Garrett. And this is the crazy thing. Like, you don't really have to win this matchup. If they win it, if Guyton wins this matchup, boy, you just have to survive this matchup. To be honest, I kind of wish Guyton faced Garrett a little bit later. That way he had, some games under his belt, some experience under his belt. But it is what it is. Big fella is up for the task. He does have the athleticism and some, when I say power, I mean anchor ability to deal with that. But I mean, this is a different animal, man. There's no two ways around it. Survive Garrett. And the rest of these matchups, I do think you can flat out win. This one, I have to be honest, I don't know that they'll win this matchup, but I don't think that they have to, if that makes sense. But what do you think will happen in this one? Probably not fair to ask y'all this. But do you think Guyton can win this matchup? Not a fair question. I hate even asking y'all that because I don't think he will, but I just need him to survive it. Just survive it. Demetri said, I'm anxious for it. This matchup will put some hair on his chest. Facts. You know what I talked about, and again, I don't want to spoil you, me and Foots' content that will be dropping later. But I talked about this with Foots yesterday in regards to Kalen Carson. I said, look, man, just don't be the reason why they go off for Kalen. Because he's like, what does a good game for Kalen look like? I said, just don't be the reason why they go off. Make a few plays here, secure the tackle, maybe a pass breakup. But most importantly, put some film out there that you feel good about, that you can build off of. Even if you make a mistake, you know why that happened. Hey, I can build off that. But put some tape out there. Same reason for Tyler Guyton. Put some tape out there that you can build off of. And don't be the reason why Myles Garrett goes off. And I'll take it. I'm reasonable. Let's see. Demetrius said you think he'll win it because he beat Max. We got to be careful about that. Demetrius, you know how many snaps he took with Max Crosby in pass rush situations? Not a whole lot. Got to be careful about that one. Can he? Yes. Will he? As Toxic says, I think he will have his moments of success and failure. MG is a dog. Fair. Captain says Guyton wins because it's too much tape on Myles not to have an idea. I don't even know if that matters, bro. Myles Garrett has had years of tape, and guys still get whooped every day. You know, they still get whooped every day about him. Lo says he's gonna be barbecue chicken. I don't want to go that far, Los, but hopefully it doesn't turn into a 4-sack game. T-Jack, just don't die. Yeah, man, just don't be the reason. Just don't get killed out there. Series in, series out. I don't think it'll happen down in, down out. But hell, make Schwartz switch it up. And honestly, and we'll get to another matchup later. He's not stupid. Schwartz is going to look at this thing and say, look, I feel a lot better if you throw Zadarius Smith over there. I don't think Zadarius Smith has the same type of bag. He's obviously not the same type of player. Garrett is a defense player of the year. Should have won it probably other years too. He's just first ballot. He's like that. If he wants to take him off the rookie, fine by me. Put Zadarius Smith over there. I think he can deal with that a whole lot better. I just feel like that won't happen that much. And this is the matchup you're going to see a whole lot. They'll move him around, but you'll probably see this 80% of the time. So now it'll be up to another key matchup we'll talk about later. Would I be shocked if he had a good game versus Garrett? I would be shocked if he won this matchup. I think he can survive. I have a hard time believing he's going to have a good game versus him. I'm realistic here. I don't have anything on Guyton to say that for this guy, for Myles Garrett. So yeah, I'd be pleasantly surprised if he goes out there and he has a really good game, against the defensive player of the year in week 1. That would be an amazing confidence booster for him. But I don't think he needs to have a good game to gain confidence, though. He just needs to put out tape that he can build off of. And don't get down. I don't see this guy getting down on himself, by the way. He loses a rep, gives up a sack with it. I don't see that happening. And him kind of sulking and things like that. Nah. I feel like this kid knows what he's up against. This kid wants to be great. He'll realize his mistakes, take that on the chin, and he'll bounce back from it. You hope the bounce back happens in game, but if it doesn't, I think it'll happen in season, if that makes sense. That's all. I don't want to say number 2. There's no numbers here. But the second matchup, again, low-hanging fruit. I don't care. It is an important matchup, and if you win this matchup, I think you complete half of winning the game. Amari Cooper versus Trayvon Diggs. Yep, low-hanging fruit. But again, I'm not trying to overthink this thing. Think about this for a second. If Diggs dominates, wins, whatever this matchup, you essentially took out the biggest piece of the Browns offense. I don't think they're really plush with a whole lot of playmakers over there. They just got Jerry Jeudy. We'll see how that integrates with the new offense. I do like Elijah Moore, but he's not a guy that I'm shaking my boots on. Coop has been wide receiver 1 for them and a damn good one. But Diggs is Diggs. And yeah, I know Cowboys Nation. Diggs is coming back from the injury. I can't fight you on that. He's been injured. But think about this for a second here. What the Browns like to do, or what they did do with Amari Cooper, and really the last 2 years, they pushed the ball downfield. They push the ball downfield. And, we've talked about this with Kalen Carson. If it was one area of his game that we have to see him be better at in the NFL, it's dealing with guys that can eat up cushion, dealing with guys that can run by him, dealing with the deep ball in general. Diggs is one of the best deep ball defenders in the league. Period. And it's not like Coop is a guy that's going to blaze past you. He might route you up and get some cushion, but I've seen Diggs. Okay, cool. You might have a step or two, but my length and my long speed, like Diggs has long striding speed, can make up for that. And Watson, look, man, he got to prove it to me that he's just going to make Diggs go or make Coop go get it. If he's going to target Cooper downfield, it's going to be contested. And I love the matchup. I think Diggs can win this matchup, man. I do. Is it a little bit optimistic given he's coming off his ACL? Admittedly, yes, it is. But I told y'all before, and I'll say it again, he's the one guy I feel uber confident about bouncing back from that injury more than any of these other guys. 100%. So if you win this matchup, you take away half of what they like to do offensively. You take away the biggest piece of what they like to do. Something else I was thinking about, and we brought this up yesterday. Well, Sky, they'll just put him on a young buck, right? They'll just put him on Kalen Carson. That may happen. If we play, I don't know what the game plan is. We haven't seen Zimmer, utilize these guys just yet. Based off of Zimmer's history, he usually plays straight up in the sense of, hey, you play here, you play here. He moves his safeties around more than anything. So let's just go off of that, right? Like, hey, you play over here on the left, Kalen's right, vice versa, whatever. If that's the case, if I'm Cleveland, I'm not playing around with Diggs. I'm not playing around with Diggs because Diggs is going to pick up on things and then his FBI is going to kick in, right? That football intelligence is going to kick in and Deshaun Watson is going to give you one. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to match him up on Kalen Carson. So I asked this question the other day. I said, well, do you follow him, right? Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. But last year, Dan Quinn is not known to follow. Historically, with the Cowboys, none of that. But during the game, and y'all know the game I'm talking about, DK Metcalf goes off on Deron Bland, has his worst game of his Cowboys career, and they had to make an adjustment. They went to Gilly and said, Gilly, need you to step up. Need you to follow him the rest of the second half and shut him down. Shut him down. So we've seen a coach who notoriously does not follow and did so, and it helped him win the game. What I'm getting at is have your game plan. If your game plan is going to be, just play sides, cool. But be prepared to adapt, right? And adapt in game. Be prepared for that is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Big facts. I'd rather them go at Diggs against Coop than go at Carson versus Judy. Yeah, Silos. Look, I don't care who they have lined up on Diggs. Target them. Target him, man. Toxic said we wish we still had Gilly. Yeah, this would be a really good game to have him with Bland out right now for sure. Tino Diggs, when healthy, is the best corner on the roster. He's better than Bland. All right. Diggs all pro, man. Bland was too, though. But yeah, I think Diggs is the best all-around corner. But Bland, I don't like doing this. I don't like that. We in the season now. I'm done fighting players against players. Bland's a beast too. Judy versus Carson is more concerning. I mean, if that's more concerning, Judy versus Carson, then Amari Cooper versus Carson is extremely concerning. If you're more concerned about Judy versus Carson, which there is some concern there in the sense of Judy is a fast wide receiver. He can get on you fast and get by you. I don't know if they're going to play that type of game with him or not. We'll see. Coop is a proven problem, right? And we looked at what they like to do last year, right? They like to push the ball with Coop. And one of the things that Carson had issues dealing with was getting involved downfield with wide receivers. If he misses at the line of scrimmage, or if he's off coverage and they chew up that cushion real fast to get on top of Carson, he has some struggles in that way. So that's the one thing I got to see him do in the league once these bullets start flying for real. Now Judy's here. Maybe they use Judy more downfield, and maybe Coop is going to be your kind of possession guy. And if that's the case, I like Carson dealing with anything 15 yards and in on a consistent basis because he has a ridiculous closing ability. He's not the fastest of guys though, right? The long speed isn't necessarily there. He has to get physical with you and slow you down. He has to make you play his game. You know what I mean? Has to make you play his game. So those are my first two. You got Diggs versus Coop, Myles Garrett versus Guyton. Two low-hanging fruits, but think about it for a second. If you survive Garrett and you shut down Coop, you are halfway to victory. You are halfway to victory. I would 100% say, okay, Zadarius Smith beat me on the other side. All right, Jim Schwartz, your secondary is going to have to go off without pass rush. Judy, Elijah Moore, Jerome Ford, y'all going to have to beat me. Not letting Coop beat me. You survive Garrett and you shut down Coop, you're on your way. Cowboy Mike, good morning. Ooh.
What's going on with you, man? You hear me all right?
Yeah, it was something was mad loud when I brought you in. Hello?
Yeah, man. I want to talk about I think I would travel Diggs with Cooper, man. I really don't want to put Carson in that position too early because we already know Coop is a technician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coop is one of the best route runners in the National Football League. Has been forever. He's easily the best route runner on that team. It's a tough task for a rook, but it is what it is. He's going to have either he's going to deal with one of the best route runners we've seen since he's been drafted, or he's going to deal with a guy who can get on you in a hurry with his speed. He's not a bad route runner in his own right, but he ain't Coop. So he's got a challenge either way. He's just got to be up for the task, man.
But there is one more thing, man. I want to take it off the air. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Deshaun Watson, man, that guy takes a lot of chances.
I mean, and what do you mean by chances? Like he's like a gunslinger or something?
He's you get him off that first read, he kind of gets happy feet a little bit. And I think, like, Micah also, man, we got Garrett on the other side, and we got Micah, man. It's like we got two Jordans on each side, you know, for each team. And it's like, man, I got a feeling we're going to see a little duel between Garrett and Micah.
Well, they don't play each other, so they can't.
But Deshaun's got to worry about Micah, and Dak's got to worry about Garrett.
Sure, yeah. Every week, you're going to face a pass rusher, and then that we have to worry about, and then the Cowboys got one of their own right that the quarterback's going to worry about for sure.
My homeboy said it's the battle of the foes, not the fours, the foes.
I feel you, Cowboy Mike. What else you got for the show?
That's all I got, man.
Got you, brother. Appreciate you, big dog.
That's all I got, man. Yes, sir.
Let's get 702. What's good with you? You are live.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, Scott? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, man. Good morning.
Good morning. Two quick questions. So yesterday I was listening to Talk with the Guys, right? And Barry Church said that the run defense is not going to be good because of how Zimmer plays too high safety a lot. What do you think about that?
Ooh, I gotta hit up B. I would love to get him back on the show. that's interesting that he would come to that conclusion. I don't think you have to necessarily play single high to have a good run defense. I've seen teams be able to defend the Cowboys in that manner a lot, where they control the line of scrimmage. When you play too high in that way, to have a good run defense, two things have to happen. You have to dominate the line of scrimmage, and they upgraded the defense tackle position. You got to secure the edges, and that comes with discipline, and they're instilling that. And your second unit has to be able to fly to the ball, attack those running lanes, and make those stops in the line of scrimmage. You've got backers that can do that. The problem is I can't say anything about the run defense with my chest, bro, because we haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it. Where I know the secondary for years has been a quality secondary, and I think they got an upgrade with Mike Zimmer in that manner. I also think they got an upgrade with Mike Zimmer in the run defense, but we have to see it. So, but I'm not gonna come to the conclusion that it's gonna be bad. They addressed with Linval Joseph, Jordan Phillips. They got bigger there. They addressed bringing in Kendricks. They have better linebacker unit. And I think Zim and Paul Gunther, they know how to defend the run. So I'm more confident than Barry Church is, but it's more like, hey, to be decided. I got to see a little bit first.
And then the last one. I don't know the statistics of Zimmer's defense against mobile quarterbacks, but do you think that's an issue? Because over the years, running quarterbacks been honest.
It's an issue for the league, bro. That's why if you really go look at how teams are bringing in quarterbacks nowadays, drafting quarterbacks, one of the things that they almost always require is, can you get out the pocket? Can you move around? Or do you have mobility? A lot of these quarterbacks have to be, even the Herberts, the Trevor Lawrences, these wonder kids that come out, they can move. Caleb Williams gets drafted number 1. He can move. Hell, the only reason why Trey Lance probably got drafted like that was because he was athletic. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think it's a problem for the league. The Cowboys, you're right. Historically, they've had issues with it. They'll have to deal with Deshaun Watson scrambling around. But I watched a lot of Deshaun yesterday preparing for the show some more. Deshaun will run around and run into sacks. So I welcome it, fam. Like, if he wants to run around, cool. Micah Parsons is right behind you, and you're going to hear the lion claws or paws or whatever coming right after you. So you want to run around? Run around. We got fast linebackers. We got Micah Parsons. Be my guest.
Hey, and before I get out of here, I was at one that stuff that check with the sign that paper for the 38M. I was talking about millions, not money.
Man, listen, I'm telling you right now, dog, 38 M's, you're going to see me 24. What me and Vaughn said, you're going to see me at 3 and 8.
All right, man, you have a good one, big dog.
You too. Thanks for that. I think it was a super chat. Appreciate that super chat. Yeah, look, man, the running quarterback thing, I think it's an issue for the whole league. And I did notice in studying some of their tape, last year at least, we'll see what happens with and they'll probably do more of it now. Think about it with their new offensive coordinator. They do that. They do the read option stuff. They did do some read option stuff. Again, Deshaun Watson wants to run around and get hit. You're not Josh Allen. Ken Dorsey's here, and he's probably going to use some read option. That would not shock me. I will say this. Again, Zim don't play. Zim's about discipline. Zim's not about you crashing inside, leaving that edge wide open for the quarterback to run around and get big chunk yards, right? Zim's not about you biting on the play action biting on that read option as a linebacker at the second level, and now you're giving up all that ground. He'll chew you out, man. He'll get on you. He'll get you out the game if you're not going to fix it. So, again, I think it was the Ravens game. Jadeveon Clowney played it perfectly. He played it exactly like it's supposed to, and it looked kind of like D-Law. Now, sometimes D-Law can get jumpy, but that's because, Dan Quinn, for years, right, hey, you do your thing, D-Law. And it works. D-Law, when he does his thing, works. But there's times where you got to stay disciplined, and D-Law can do that. And Clowney played it so well. I mean, he read option, pulled it, tried to run, and it was a sack or a tackle for loss for about 2 or 3 yards. D-Law can do that. Kneeling on the other side, I feel like he can do that. We've seen Micah do it against guys like Jalen Hurts. And now I think that their wires are triggered differently now, as opposed to just get after the quarterback. It's, hey, this is what we're doing on this play. Yeah, you might be getting after the quarterback, but you're doing X, Y, Z. So I feel confident with this particular cue. You talk about maybe a Lamar Jackson, totally different, bro. You talk about there is nothing you can do about that aspect of Lamar's game. They're going to use Lamar's legs a part of the run game. He's going to make you miss in the pocket and take off. You just got to pray that it's not for some 60-yard touchdown or some back-breaking first down. Lamar is going to, it is what it is. He's going to make those type of plays. He's much better than Deshaun Watson in that sense. Yeah, Trips. Yeah, Trips said, man, we would legit have more than one linebacker. We have a legitimate room of linebackers, which is a good sight to see. Okay, so my next one, and he brought this up a little bit here. Again, maybe a little bit low-hanging fruit, but it's a key matchup here. Jedrick Wills Jr. versus Micah Parsons. Wills Jr. is their left tackle. Missed a lot of time last year, a whole lot of time. He only played 8 games. Suffered a season-ending injury, working his way back in the offseason. So far, he's been limited in practice. Looks like he's going to play. If he doesn't, now you're talking about Micah against a backup. Which, hey, even more favor. But drawing Micah Parsons in this first game, where you don't really know where the hell he's going to be. He may start over here and end up over here. But if he is lined up on the right side majority of the game, Jedrick Wills Jr. has his hands full. Now, look, this Browns offensive line, I don't think is the same offensive line 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? This isn't Joe Thomas rolling out there at left tackle. It's a talented offensive line for sure. Run game Moses ain't there. The center position is not what it once was. The left tackle position, while yes, Wills Jr. is good, he ain't some shut down guy. Right tackle situation is a little dicey too. Jack Conklin's the right tackle right now. DeJuan Jones apparently was beat out. So that's interesting. But when you go look at Wills Jr., I watched the Pittsburgh game, right? Because Pittsburgh, they play some chess games with you, and they got Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt. Highsmith abused, bro. Highsmith abused that guy a lot. He struggled with Highsmith's twitch ability and his speed, and we know Micah's the best in the league at twitch and speed at the position. You go look at the Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincy game. 3 division opponents, I get it, but 3 quality defenses with guys that have legit pass rushers. He gave up 15 pressures in those games, 2 sacks. 15 pressures, 2 sacks against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. You're talking about Clowney, T.J. Watt, Highsmith. I forget the guy's name in Baltimore, but they have, or not Baltimore, but Cincinnati. They've got quality guys that can rush the passer. Only really Watt you can put in that Micah lane. So if he is the quote unquote find the scrub, which I'm not calling Wills a scrub, it's just that if he struggles with speed and twitch, Micah should attack that a lot, right? Conklin could be find the scrub as well. Then you have to go after it. Even if it doesn't always translate to a sack, getting pressures on Deshaun Watson is huge. We talked about this a few days ago. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in dealing with pressures. 44% completion against pressures. Lots of picks. Running around. Gets sacked a lot. So, again, like I said before, there's only one matchup I don't think the Cowboys can actually flat out win. But this one, I think they can dominate. And if they dominate this one, now that means, okay, Ken Dorsey, Stefanski, you're going to have to, you always have to find 11. Let's just be real. You have to find 11. But now, okay, tight end, running back, 2, 3 people, down and down out. That's where the Marshawn Nealon, D-Law, blitz packages, slot corners coming. That everybody else starts to eat. Okay, now you want to dedicate all this pressure? Cool. We're going to put 4 guys to the left of your center, make you dictate your coverage this way, your pass protection this way, and get one-on-one with Micah Parsons and Willis. Like, this is totally different, in my opinion, in how Zimmer will approach it compared to Quinn. You can call it a guess because we haven't seen it yet, but it feels that way. And a lot of people remember, man, I don't think Micah Parsons is going. This is what y'all was saying. I don't think Micah Parsons is going to be able to take Mike Zimmer. Man, they love it. They love each other in the sense of not the Dan Quinn type of relationship, but if you go listen to Micah's recent interviews or any of the interviews over the summer or any of the interviews that Zim was, when he was talking about Micah, these guys are connected at the hip, and that's what you want to hear. He's your best player. He's your most dominant player. He's a weapon X. And if these guys are working together to find a way to not only make him better, which will make your defense better, but find a way to make other guys better around him, that's a dub. That's a dub. Micah talked about how Zimmer is teaching him all of the defense, not just, hey, go get the passer. He's like, hey, Zimmer's making me a smarter defender. I really wonder how. I was saying some crazy stuff about Micah 5 months ago. Interesting. I got one more for y'all. I think it's the most important one. Before I do that, though, let's wrap a little bit more to y'all in the chat. 512 or on the phone lines. What's good with your 512? F- 512, you live? 512 sold to 860. What's good, 860?
Hey, Sky, how you doing? This is Anthony G from the chat. I just got one question.
Hold on, Anthony G, I ain't gonna lie to you. I expected for you to sound like this, Anthony G. Sometimes I look at the chat and I just picture what y'all look like and sound like, and I did not expect this one, Anthony G. But good morning, good sir. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show, Sky. Just got one question for you. It's more of a season question. So you talk about, complimentary football a lot. And, in order for us to be a more complimentary football playing team, we talk about having either a more efficient run game or a sound defense. So if you had to choose one going into the season, which would you prefer? More efficient run game or sound defense? Yeah. I think I go efficient run game, bro. I think I go with efficient. I'm not saying I don't want a sound defense, but the Cowboys need a complimentary run game. And that's how I know you be watching this show, because the word I use a lot is efficient. If they can have an efficient run game, that will make all the difference in the playoffs, at least offensively. Okay, yeah. No, I agree. That's all I have for you. I just wanted to call in and ask you that question. But appreciate the show. That's a hell of a question. Let me ask that to the chat, if you don't mind. Appreciate you, bro. More efficient run game or a sound defense, chat? More efficient run game or a sound defense? Yeah, I'm trying to get a confirmation. I just saw you guys say that you think Willis is out. Let me see here. I do know he returned to practice. Like I said, he was limited, and again, if he's out, now we're talking about a backup, so it's definitely fine to scrub. Willis let the cat out the bag. Yeah, I guess yesterday, September 4th. Let me listen to this real quick. As you guys are answering this question, I want to hear. We can all hear Willis. 1 second. Here we go.
Middle reps, with the new offense and everything.
This is Jedrick Willis speaking on.
How much do you feel like you benefited from from just seeing, being in the meeting room?
I don't feel like I've been being in there practicing. Do you hear that? Do you care? I don't care at all. I'm not be honest. I don't really care. Or they question whether you want to play and all that. Yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. It's just a thing that you hear with if it was easy, everybody would do it. I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard that before. Just rolls off your back.
It's what it is. I mean, if it was tough, if it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's tough. So that's just why I'm doing it. You feel me?
Have you grown in that way a little bit since you?
Look, Judge, we just went off
again,
the plane,
did you
bro.
say originally you were not going to need surgery?
Yeah, originally I was not going to need surgery. It was going to be rehab. Later on, they found out they needed a scope.
On Sunday, do you expect to play at all, or is that kind of up in the air?
Yeah, it's kind of up in the air. Really, it's just trying to get through today, see what I can do, and move forward from there.
So if it's Jack replacing you on Sunday, how do you think he'll hold up kind of moving over to that left side?
I think he'll do good. I mean, he took some reps.
Okay, so there you go. So per Jedrick Willis, it's up in the air, hence the limited thing, and we'll see. So look, even better. If they don't have him out there, even better. And if this is his first game back from his injury, not a great draw for Jedrick Willis. But again, per him, it is up in the air if he plays, which we'll monitor that over the next few days. All right, back to the lines here. 202, what's up with you? 202, you live.
What's up, Scott? My
What's
bad.
going
I was
on?
waiting to say something.
Oh,
How you
good.
doing, bro? Great show. Yeah, I was listening to the Jedrick, and I think one of the questionnaires asked him if it's going to require surgery. I was like, whoa. So, I hope the brother's okay. Yeah, he was re-aggravate himself. But either way,
who you talking about?
I was just Jedrick, the tackle for the Browns.
Oh yeah,
During
yeah,
the
yeah.
interview, during the interview, one of the persons in the crowd asked him if he's going to require surgery. He kind of hemmed and hawed. But either way, great show, bro.
My bad. I think they were asking him when it happened, would it require surgery from last year? So it sounds like, I don't know if he got it or not, but not that it requires surgery now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that part. Okay, my bad. Yeah, but either way, yeah, I like the matchups you had. As far as Myles Garrett, I just hope like Schoonmaker and Lutke and who's the other backs and Zeke. I hope they just like crash dummies the whole game. We can't let. I know we hope Guyton can do well against Myles Garrett, but we can't take that chance. By the end of the game, if these guys have no catches, all they're doing is just like just bouncing off of Myles Garrett and like being roadkill, because this guy, he can destroy the entire game.
Right.
So I just hope out of those three, they assist both tackles, because I don't think either one of them can handle Garrett when he's on his game. He's just too good.
I don't even disagree, and that's why, like, look, you can say whatever you want to say, man. If you want to say I'm being scary, whatever, I'm just being honest. Myles Garrett is a guy that can destroy your game, and we don't have an all-pro Tyron Smith out there at either tackle at this moment. Maybe old boy turns into that, but this is more of me respecting who Garrett is. So the Cowboys are gonna have to send. Maybe you run a lot of 12 in this game. You chip Garrett. You give the young man some help so that he doesn't take over this damn game, because he's capable of doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as far as Amari, man, this kid Carson, why did he pick 21 up? What kind of mindset is that? This
come on,
dude
man.
He's like
come on,
sleepy
man.
look.
You play ball? You ever play ball? You gonna pick the number that Deion Sanders, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you know what it is.
Hey, but the kind of smoke that comes with picking it in Dallas, it's one thing. It's not,
Only smoke that comes with Dallas from a number is 88. That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
I mean, the last couple of players that had that number, what? Zeke,
bro,
Deion. Or Julius Jones.
Exactly. Look at that. Julius Jones, Mike Jenkins, Gilly, Zeke. Nobody foaming at the mouth for wearing 21. You wear 88 though. There's a totally different, expectation that comes with 88.
All right. Well, he has that quiet demeanor. He reminds me of Darryl Green, just quiet demeanor. But
that's a good name drop.
On the field, he's just like they turn into this different player. So we'll see. And then I had one more thing. I forgot, running. Yeah. But other way, I had one more thing we're talking about, bro. And
real quick, because I do have a hard out I forgot about. Real quick.
My bad. Yeah, thanks a lot, bro. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, thanks for the show, and I hope we have a great game. And go Cowboys. Thanks, bro.
Indeed, good call, man. I apologize, Cowboys Nation. I forgot I do have a hard out at 10. So let me just quickly go down the question I did ask, or the caller asked. Great question. Would you rather have an efficient run game or the sound defense? I said efficient run game because we really have not seen that. And again, I'm thinking big picture for the Cowboys playoff situation. We haven't really seen that since 2018. You know, it's been a long time since the Cowboys got in the playoffs and had an efficient run game. I'm not saying I don't want the defense to be not sound, but you can kind of get away with that if your offense is clicking on all cylinders, meaning you are running the ball well. Give me some turnovers, right? Maybe if we're not sound that day, I'm getting turnovers then. You know, that's a tough question. That's a tough question because the last thing you want is your defense to just get ran up and down the field. But I also don't want my offense to be one-dimensional. Love that question. Defense, sound defense. Lots of defense. Run game, tough one. Run game, sound defense. It's a very good question. You definitely got me in the box for sure. But I just haven't seen the Cowboys have a run game, an efficient run game in the playoffs in so long, where I think your defense played good enough in San Fran the first time. Second time, they sucked this last game. They were sounding good against Tampa. I thought they were Seattle years ago. Like we've seen them have that type of day and run in the playoffs. I have not seen them do the run game thing. I haven't. So that's what I'm looking at. Okay, last one. I got to get to it. And I think it's the most important one. And it sucks. I can't really elaborate as much as I want, but I'll try to get through it fast. This is the one. We kind of hinted at it yesterday. Jim Schwartz versus Mike McCarthy. I do think the Cowboys win the defensive battle against the Browns offense. This one is more up in the air because Jim Schwartz defense is a very good defense, right? It's a very aggressive defense. And what McCarthy, at least what the Cowboys offense was last year, it could run into some traps here with Jim Schwartz. So McCarthy and co, like McCarthy, Schottenheimer, Dak, whomever else is in that room. I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. They have to show some tweaks. They have to do some things differently in this game. Throws, go against their old tendencies from last year. And again, week one is so weird because you really don't know what a team's going to come out and do. However, these are two experienced coordinators, two stubborn coordinators. They've been around a long time. I know Schwartz talked about switching it up and having a curveball, whatnot, but I feel like he's going to have a fastball in this game. He's an aggressive coordinator with an aggressive defense, a sound defense, right? I don't think they're going to switch that up. Not game one. I feel like he's going to come out and do what they do. So what I'd like to see McCarthy do, right? Because obviously the game plan is going to center around CeeDee Lamb. They're going to try to take away CeeDee Lamb. That doesn't always work. Our game plan is going to center around CeeDee Lamb. How about we get Turpin involved? How about we get Cooks involved early, right? How about some screens, misdirection, again, tendency breakers. A lot of under center in camp. I wonder if they do that in this game. Under center rollouts, move the pocket. Instead of, again, oh, man, we're just starting this thing off slow. Jump straight into A, what your offense is comfortable with, and B, throw in some of those tweaks that maybe we have not seen yet. Maybe the things you are working on this offseason. I feel like you got to come out the gate and you've got to throw that out there right now. This isn't the Giants defense you're playing. This is a really good defense. So I think this is the most important matchup, because even if the Cowboys win the defensive matchup, if they come out there and have a Buffalo type game, they come out there, start off like they did to end the season. If they come out there in this a tough day all day and they don't finish the game, if it is close, yeah, you could lose this game. Like, I think the offense at the end of the day is going to have to win it in the sense of, yeah, defense will keep you in it. They'll keep it low, but you might have to make that game winning drive. you might have to put them away. It might be a 4-point game, 7-point game. Put them away with a touchdown, right? Like the offense, I think, is going to have to put this thing away. And I think it'll come down to Schwartz versus McCarthy. Man, I truly do apologize. I forgot we got a company-wide meeting I got to get to here. But before I do that, let me get to these super chats. Boom. Bow. I saw a $50
super chat.
YK Simba, appreciate you. By the way, the Cash App, #ChillWill1026 if you want to drop something in the Cash App. But he dropped the 50. He said, check your Twitter DMs. Okay, I got you. He said, appreciate your time. No, sir, I appreciate your time. Taking time out to come listen to me in the morning, I appreciate it. And then, this was yesterday. Coleman said after Texans. CJ straight thought, homie. Good show, Sky, as always. Appreciate you, CJ. The Coleman show, I mean. So, again, hate that I have this hard out. Y'all know I like to sit here and usually talk to y'all at the end of this thing. But duty does call. So with that said, I'm going to hit this button. I will be back tomorrow. Me and Patrick No-C Walker giving y'all the latest rundown on the Cowboys week and our last bit of thoughts before week 1.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Big Mac said to me, hey, man, I'm pressing it. We up against it, man. We up against it. We beat Jim Short's defense. This ain't the Eagles. He said we beat Jim Short's defense with the Eagles. Roy, you smart enough to know this ain't even close to the Eagles' sorry ass defense, man. We out here.